Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about Venus squaring Saturn in the composite chart and what this aspect entails. So Venus and Saturn actually work well together in an aspect in the composite chart, but this aspect is probably the most difficult one to see. It's not insurmountable, but it can definitely show that the relationship is tinged with a sense of unhappiness or a sense of being unable to fulfill your goals in this relationship or in life in this relationship. Like it's almost like the way that you combine together makes it feel harder or even insurmountable for you to be yourself and live out your aspirations or goals in life in this relationship. It just makes it more difficult. Now, you want to look at the houses that the square is taking place in the composite chart to show for you guys as a couple where this is playing out the most. Um, Something that's common with this aspect is having a lot of feelings for each other, but for whatever reason, it's never the right time to express the feelings. Or if there's sexual feelings, having, a lot of those feelings, but you just can't find the place, or for whatever reason, you never get together in that way. Another manifestation is if you do get together in that way, it is unfulfilling, or you feel like it's just, yeah, not as pleasurable as it could be. So, this aspect can really bring a downer on a relationship. It can definitely be like a form of glue, but it's like a karmic glue. It's a glue to this relationship dynamic that's maybe not making you truly happy. Um, so it tends to be pretty difficult to deal with, but it can work, if you have other aspects that are more joyful, like a moon Jupiter or moon Venus or something, could potentially lighten the load of this. But it does generally feel like a heavy karmic thing. It can be the type of relationship where, when you're first meeting and you're getting into it, you feel like there's something here, there's something important, there's something fated, right? But then when you actually entertain in the relationship or indulge in it, allow yourself to be in it, if it actually works out, you realize there's just something always beyond reach. It just doesn't ever quite fulfill that need. And Venus is about pleasure and is about attraction, love. It can feel like we're in disagreement on these areas. It can feel like the way that we love is different. The way that we combine our energies to work towards a goal, being shown by Saturn, is different. And yeah, we're kind of getting in each other's way. And, it might just be simply like in the most minor way this could show up is just that we don't have a lot in common, maybe as far as life goals or personal pleasures. So, that could just mean we spend a lot of time apart. We do our own separate thing. You're going to want to do your own separate thing if you have this square because you're going to want to get away from this heaviness sometimes. But if there's a lot of other favorable aspects and you do really care about each other, Venus square Saturn doesn't show that you don't care. It shows that you care a lot, but it's just hard to combine energies in a fulfilling way. So if you both care about each other a lot, you can just recognize that you're different. You need some space. You need time apart. You need to indulge in your own pleasurable Venus activities without each other sometimes. And also, you'll probably have to work towards goals separately as well. This isn't a good partnership for working together like in a business partnership. It's not going to be easy to do that. But if you must do it, you have the seriousness required. You have the, wanting to work on it. That's something about Saturn squares is that while they're very, very difficult, it's almost like Saturn wants to do the work to resolve the square, right? Like, because Saturn, the planet of karma, Saturn wants to work out a square. So it's almost like Saturn squares show up more often than not in synastry and in the composite chart, like what I'm talking about here, because Saturn likes to be squared. Saturn wants to work out the karma, right? So with this aspect, you've got some karma, and if you want to work it out, if there's enough here for you to work this out, it can be a relationship that is serious, that is meaningful, that is really special to you, and it can be really hard to let go of. Saturn can represent time as well. So if we do get in a relationship with this aspect, it can mean that it's very hard to let go or move on from it. But it also can show with the square that there is a difference in timing where, we're not on the same page. We're not able to get together for some kind of time related reason. Maybe it's like we just don't actually have time for a relationship, or someone lives afar, or the life goals are like so different that, we just can't get it together. So that's something you can often see with this. And that feeling of like a tinge of disappointment or lack of fulfillment, and even judgment. You can kind of judge each other with this square. So it's kind of an aspect that decreases confidence and self-worth rather than increases it, unless you've got other really good things going on. This is a heavy karmic square. It can work. It'll take a lot of work to work, but if you want to do the work, it can be okay. But yeah, you're just going to need your time apart and recognize that, maybe as a couple, you don't enjoy the same pleasures, you don't love the same, and you don't have to get in each other's way about that. Just let it be, right? Let the other person be, and have your separate time and focus on what you do love about each other, and what you do have in common as shown by other aspects. Then this one can be okay. And I do actually believe that, like, it's better to have some Saturn aspect than no Saturn aspect. So shockingly, I would probably take this square, as opposed to no Saturn aspect in the composite chart, because like I said, Saturn wants to work it out, right? And shown by the houses that this square is taking place in, you're going to want to try and work this out. It's going to be hard to, but you will probably want to work it out if there's enough other good stuff going on. And yeah, it does show like a really hard bond to break when we have Saturn aspects. So yeah, and you don't usually see relationships without Saturn aspects, like I'm talking no Saturn aspects, no squares or trines or anything, or conjunctions that form into a relationship. So this one, while it sucks, it does mean there's something there to explore. There's some lesson here, and probably something worthwhile if you've ended up with this one in your composite chart. So I hope that was helpful. I try to put a positive spin on these very hard aspects, so I hope that was not super negative, because I truly do believe, like, the composite chart that you have with if you're in a relationship, that's just what you're meant to work on. There's no bad placements, right? There's no, like, I mean, sometimes you will see a composite chart that's like, oh my God, like, this is really bad. But like, for the most part, I feel like the composite chart is just what you've chosen to become as a couple. This is just what you're going to have to work through. This is just the energy that you are. And there's no good nor bad. It just is, right? And you want to focus on those positives, focus on those trines, focus on, those nice conjunctions or house overlays or whatever, or not house overlays, sorry, house placements. And, emphasize those while also being equally aware of the challenges that you face, because no relationship has just easy or good aspects. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be the good stuff too. So you want to look at all of it and just have awareness, and then you can exist in this relationship way more harmoniously if you just know about these things, right? So Thank you for watching. Love you guys so much. Thank you for the request and keep your requests coming in the comments. Let me know your experience of this aspect if you've had it in your composite chart. I'd love to know how that went or how it's going. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.